right, there we go. We got tools in the air. There we go. There we go. Somebody heard me. Yeah, somebody heard me. You hear me? All right, listen. First of all, peace and power. You understand me? Today is Tuesday, 2/22/22. Right? It's a powerful, synchronistic, observers, mathematical day. Right? Very powerful days. You got to catch these particular type of days because these are the days, you understand me, that ripple portals for you that you can utilize, you understand me, to shift, disrupt, manifest, however you want to utilize that kind of energy. You know what I'm talking about? But let me give you my breakdown and understanding when it comes to the synchronistic days. You feel me? Like, my name is 19 Keys, so I'm always up on the numerology and the utility of mathematics. You feel me? And the numbers, and observing the number is observing the mathematical codex of the universe, which allows you to see synchronicity. It allows you to see, you understand me, the arithmetic and how things make sense and why things add up and why things are. But let me give y'all some simple science so y'all can understand something real quick one time. Can I do that for y'all? Some simple science. This is from a upcoming book that I got coming out that I haven't released yet. And this chapter is called Mathematical Thinkers. It says, for example, we see colors all around us, yet a logical deconstruction of the concept of color shows that the world does not objectively contain any color at all. A neuroscientist, Bolado, said, color doesn't exist. It is a construct of your brain. There is nothing literal about color in the world. If all human beings had a gene for total color blindness, it would never even have occurred to anyone that the sky was blue or that there was any such phenomenon as color. Why does it mean to assert that our genes are the cause of color perception? The gene belongs to us and not the objects that allegedly exhibit the color. Is Kant therefore right that our minds are creating their own reality independent of the true world? But no one questioned a rational mathematical statement that 1 + 1 = 2. That is an eternal, incontestable, immutable truth. Reason, not our senses, reveals the absolute truths of existence. Our senses continuously deceive us. They were not designed as organs of truth, but as a means for allowing us to adapt successfully to life on Earth. We only see a tiny spectrum of a portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. It says mathematics can be regarded as an abstract tool, but there is a form of mathematics called ontological mathematics. Mathematics that isn't just an abstract tool, but has real-world application and real existence. Fundamentally, it's the mathematics of energy, numbers that exist in space-time that have real energy, not just numbers written on paper, which has no true properties. Think of the mathematics of the subatomic universe. Every property go to the subatomic universe can be defined by numbers. Scientists often disagree in physics or spooky actions of physics, but they don't dispute the existence because of mathematics. If two scientists across the globe can point pictures of the universe using mathematics without speaking the same language, they can still understand each other. The average person regards the mathematics as abstract. They don't know the energy properties of mathematics in real space-time. So let me give y'all a breakdown real quick. It says, although mathematics is conventionally regarded as an abstract tool, we shall introduce a second type of mathematics labeled ontological mathematics. This means that it does not treat mathematical entities as mere paper abstractions and symbols, but as things with real existence. Ontological mathematics might also be called mathematics of energy, since that's what it's fundamentally about. Numbers written on paper have no energy content. Numbers written in space-time most certainly do. Manipulation on paper has no energy implication, but it does in space-time. Things that can be done effortlessly on paper might not be possible ontologically because of these energy considerations. This is the fundamental difference between abstract and ontological mathematics. So before I go further, I want y'all to understand something, right? And it's like I'll look at the concept of ontological mathematics, you understand me? And especially when it comes to the understanding of physics, the reason that physics may seem like magic, right? Physics, if you want to, is physical spiritualism, evidence of spirit, right? And what happens is that you may see something that may sound spooky, but then once you can plug in the mathematics, it allows people to build things like cell phones, right? Like cell phone is mathematics in use. When you discover mathematical properties of the universe and you're able to utilize them to produce things in real time, in real world, creating real products. When you go look at buildings around you, they were made from architecture that had to use sound mathematics. Everything has to add up. Everything at a subatomic level, you understand me, on all planes have a dimension to them. They have a measurement to them, right? When the world figures out new mathematical equations, whether it's E equals MC squared or any other one, then we can access new properties of the universe because it gives us a deeper understanding. So there's the abstract tool of mathematics written on paper, and then there's the ontological mathematics, which is more the physical mathematics that you can utilize. Now, let me catch y'all on this, though. Because I can't read the rest of the chapter. It's cold, though, but I can't read that right now. It's in physics, there's something about the spooky dynamics of physics, where when you observe something in physics, it changes it. So when you observe an atom, it changes the properties of the atom, which the scientists believe that the atom is conscious. Now, there's been many different, it's called the famous slit test. So you can do it. They experimented to see if they can observe an atom. But what happened is the atom always changed every single time that it was consciously being observed. Whether it's going to be observed during or after, the atom had a certain intelligence. So what that mean was that the conscious observer have an effect on reality. You ever look at somebody, man, and they start to change. You understand me? Too many eyes on you, you feel a certain way. Observation has a power. Yes, the slit experiment. So when we think about that, if the synchronicity is the observation, or synchronicity is meaning applied to the otherwise meaningless, right? But if you can apply meaning to the otherwise meaningless, it's also that you are creating that which you observe. Like a person, like the whole world is observing 222 and finding meaning in it, but everybody is finding different meaning. Well, this is what it means for me. This is what it means for me. Now, every day people do not apply meaning in every day. But some days people decide that some days mean something because they observe the mathematical language of the universe. So 22222, they say, okay, this means something because you only observing and being present today. But every other day, you don't know how to utilize the faculties of observation. This is a very obvious observation because the whole world is synchronized harmonically in observing it and defining it. But then one person defines it and the other person takes on the definition. So the person that defines it is the person that creates the observation in the first place. But the power is the fact that Carl Jung, one of the famous philosophers, gave a breakdown, was that if the observer can affect reality, then it is also true that there are high-level observers and there are low-level observers. So that some of us have higher consciousness, some of us have lower consciousness. So my observation may change and have a more powerful effect than someone that is weak-minded have a lower effect. So you're going to create lower observations and create lower things because of the power of your mind to bend things to your will. So when you're talking about these days of synchronistic observation, you understand me? One person may not see it because of their level of higher or lower consciousness. Now, this is, scientific fact when you start breaking it down and you start to understand. And the reason why some people can't do it is most not mathematical thinker. It's a personality type connected to it. The INTJ type, right? The person that me, I'm not an extrovert or introvert. I'm ambiverted. Sometimes I really just need to be by myself to think, right? And that's why people practice things like transcendental meditation so that they can clear out all thought, so they can go into the quiet, deep space of their mind. You feel me? And so when they get to that place within their mind, that's when they can have their clear, deepest thoughts, and they can get access to themselves, where they can be a high-level observer, right? Now, these will be talking high-level conversations, so I don't feel like I need to break it down any too much further, right? But people who are constantly surrounded by noise never get to tap into that God within, that inner voice. So those who have those great thoughts, oftentimes they need to be by themselves. So introverts sometimes do not want to be consistently bombarded with frequencies other than their own, because they want to be connected to the God within. And a high-level observer, you understand me, takes in observations, takes in data, analyzes, and then execute based on the information that they see. High-level observer is observing high-level things. A low-level observer is observing low things. The high-level observer controls what they see. The low-level observer is controlled by what they see. So instead of manufacturing your reality, you are reacting to the manufactured reality around you. So the problems, the issues, you get caught up in the news, you get caught up in the triggers, everything around you, the traumas, all of those things, you are a low-level observer. You see the things you don't like instead of witness the things that you want to see. You can create the signs that you're looking for. People ask signs from God. You have the ability to create the signs by finding the meaning in them. I remember I was at the beach in Miami, and a crow landed right on top of where I was sitting, and he looked at me and he was like, "Keys." You know what I'm saying? He said like, "Oh," something like that. You feel me? But he just looked at me and then he flew off. But I had to go look up the good omen signs of what that meant, because I knew what the negative hood stereotypes of what a crow meant, but I didn't know the good omen signs. So I didn't want to observe the negative signs on that, because in the hood, the negative sign was that the crow mean death. But then there was a positive omen attached to the crow. So I'm looking at that omen. So therefore, my mind is now manufacturing a good reality based on the signs that I interpreted. So you can choose and decide and manufacture and create the reality you want to see. And that's why, some people pessimists, they can't do nothing but think negative. Man, for every problem, for every solution, they got a problem. And then you got some people, for every problem, they got a solution, like me. Some people like to wallow in the problem. You understand me? And then there's other people that they refuse to see an issue. All they see is an opportunity. You know what I'm talking about? So a high-level observer is not one who sees nothing but problems and negativity. It's one person who sees solutions and positivity, who sees enlightenment and light, not get stuck in the dark. So as you're talking about days like this, man, days like this be powerful, because number one, it synchronizes and harmonizes people to observe mathematical reality, and shifts start to take place, because these are our days where the world becomes observers, looking for meaning, applying meaning, reacting to meaning, creating new meaning. So after days like this, the world is never the same. Anytime there is harmonic events where the world is observing the same thing and applying meaning to it, the world changes the day afterwards. Whether it's a negative event or a positive event, any event that is observed by the collective, that is interpreted by the collective, applied meaning to by the collective, changes the world, because your mind shifts a point or a degree, which changes the world. Because the world is just a collective of your thoughts and your frequencies that you are currently attached to. You don't see everything in the world, right? You may walk down the street. Nowadays, a person may only see their phone. Another observer may be attached to the reality. He may be attached to his vision, to where his vision can only see things that are connected to his vision. Come on, talk to me, man. You walk in a room, right? See, this is I'm gonna give y'all some science. I got this chapter on how I break down the different type of judgments that we have as human beings, and how to change your consciousness from this blocky consciousness, right, to where you can have a more spherical consciousness, to where it moves and it flows in motion. Because our judgments, it blocks our consciousness from being attached to the synchronicity or reality. So if I walk in the environment, oftentimes what we looking for, we may be looking for attractions, distractions, yet things that repel us. Depends on the energy. We might walk in and we might judge a person. As soon as you walk in, y'all know the type people that come in there, they just looking for what they don't like so they can talk about somebody else, distract themselves from their own insecurities, right? Oh, this person is big, this person is ugly, this person is broke. You understand me? But instead, what happens if they don't give any energy to their judgments and they interact with opportunity instead of react to the reality? So they're not a low level, they're a high level observer. So now their ears are perked for opportunities and they're intentionally pointing their energy to something that can help their vision into fruition. This is how I think when I walk in a room. That's the idea of looking for opportunities. That's the idea of networking. What is a network? It's a frequency that you can attach to. You understand me? It's a frequency you can attach to, so that you can be on the right channel and you can channel energy with. So you out there energetically networking so that you can channel your vision into reality. Come on, man, talk to me. I'm just trying to get y'all tapped in on this good synchronistic day, because I know it's easy for people to post a couple of memes about what these things mean. It's different when you get to apply the meaning to the machine. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to learn how to get rid of your judgments, because think about this. One of the biggest distractions for the last 4 years at first was Donald Trump. Everybody was so busy judging, hating, disliking, in disfavor, they didn't find anything synchronistic that they could have found a meaningful opportunity in, except those who were high-level observers. When the pandemic hit, everybody was distracted and repelling that if this is such a negative time, the worst thing in history happening, that they didn't network and channel and tap into the right frequency because they were so busy judging, pushing energy outward. You understand me? And judgments burn energy. So the time, all that time that you spend burning energy judging the world, you could have been observing, pulling in energy, information, data, you understand me, interpretation, and then utilizing what you interpret for your vision. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's a mathematical law to this. It's a different conversation over here. It's a high-level conversation over here. You got to be able to observe and interpret. So the judgmental energy is not easy because we will always have our bias. The key is that when you get to a place where you no longer judge, you will be in a consistent flow state. That's called the universal consciousness, the universal intelligence. When we talk about tapping in, we talking about your brain is deciphering all information, tapping it in towards what is necessary for you. So what it does is when you tapped into the supercomputer, what does your brain do when it absorbs light? We talked about light. Light is an electrical signal that has mathematical properties attached to it that is sent to the back of your brain. It passes a crossing of an X on your brain through the supernuclear, I forgot how to say that, so I'm not going to mess that up right now, but it's supernuclear something, right? Slides to the back, super chiasmatic nucleus, right? I believe that's how you say it. Goes to the back of your brain, interpret image. So you live your whole entire life in the back of your brain. Your brain never sees light. It just interprets. So the way you see the world is based on your mathematical interpretation and the ability for your brain to mathematically interpret the world from a lower spectrum or a higher spectrum. So when you go out in the world, you may only have bullshit in your head, so you can only interpret and see bullshit. Oh, I need to listen to this negative music. I need to listen to this. You can be in the most beautiful environments and still be thinking negative because your brain doesn't have the capacity to interpret anything else and to create and fabricate that reality. So you consistently create the reality that your brain is consistently interpreting because that's the only frequency that you have. So you have to disrupt that by throwing something new on your brain, allowing you to channel a completely new frequency. So then you tapped into a new network. You got new nodes that you can tap into. You jumping on the new mental blockchain. All of a sudden you was on centralized system, now you're on decentralized systems. I'm telling you, man, the high level conversation is different. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different around here, man. Let nobody tell you nothing different. So it's like every level of consciousness comes with a new language, because Every level of consciousness comes with a new language, right? Do you speak the mathematical language of the universe? And all that's simply saying is, are you an observer? Do you interpret? Do you take in? You know what I'm talking about? People, we as the creators of mathematics are afraid of it now. How did they get the creators, the Imhotep lineage, to be afraid of mathematics? That's wild. Think about that. They got the Imhotep lineage to be afraid of mathematics. So we don't want to think for ourselves, do for ourselves. So to do for self is simply to utilize your intelligence, right? Because your intelligence is your ability to solve problems in the future. But we start falling into the fear. Fear decreases intelligence, decreases your ability to be in the moment and be present, because you are constantly worried about something that you are ignorant of because you don't know the consequence of. Fear comes from ignorance. When you have complete power over something and knowledge of something, there is no fear of it. So your disconnect with reality is based on your ignorance of it. Because if you wanted to control reality and every goal and every vision, and you had the exact knowledge of what to do, it would no longer be scary for you. If you knew step by step how to get to wealth, how to get to power, how to get to every relationship, every dynamic in your life, if you had the knowledge, there will be no fear. You will go step by step and get it done. It is the knowledge that you miss. So your ignorance, the fear, destroys you on a consistent basis. So you have to ask yourself, what am I serving? You can tell what you're serving by what you're producing. Some people serve the God of ignorance. Some people serve a God that's enlightened. Depends on what you make your God, because what you fear has power over you. It becomes your God. Talk to him, man. Y'all want to talk about synchronicities on this good day. It's a reason you here getting this vibration. You knew today was going to be special, where you get to break the mold of your mind and finally starts to go on a different path. Because every day you wake up, if somebody was to calculate every move and measurement, they put it in the algorithm, they could predict your next move. What is the next unpredictable move you going to make for yourself? When is the next time you get to surprise yourself and put yourself on a new pathway? When was the last time you surprised yourself on a new pathway? Oh, I'm doing something different this way. I'm taking a different route. I'm reading a different book. I'm talking to a different person. I'm doing something that normally would have scared me, that had control and power over me, that stopped me. And now I'm going to make a shift. Because people be looking for signs instead of creating them. I create them. I create them. So listen, man. You know what I'm talking about? I hope y'all continue to tap in, man. If you in London, make sure you get into part of the Telegram. Click the link in my bio. Join the Telegram. If you are not in London and you are in the States, make sure you text 22 to 323-577. I'm gonna send out some messages later on that's gonna further understanding and intellect on this. You understand me? And I may even publish my Mathematical Thinkers book, so y'all can get synchronistically in line with some of this high-level observations. Just know it's a different conversation over here. And you, like my brother Steve Jones always say, you got to change your information diet. Because some of you all have an inflammation diet. And inflammation is what causes the disease in the body to attack itself based on the food you eat, the things you look up to, the people that you're around, the things that you intake. So you got to be careful, because everything is radiation, but some radiation is poisonous to you. Some radiation you can't see. So tap into the frequencies, and what you do frequently becomes your frequency. So ask yourself, if you really sit down, if somebody told you your life in the future, a year from now, and they wrote down all of the things that you was going to do in the book, and they said, read this, tell me if you impressed. They said, this is what you gonna do today, this is what you gonna do the next day. Look, you see how you're doing the same shit? Hey, look at this situation, how you was thinking about this. This was an alternative way you could have thought about it and got better in that situation. Look at this relationship that you decided to not see. You decided to not move this certain way. Look at this idea you had, you decided to not act on. You'd be like, God damn, that ain't me. But you can write that book right now about your last year, of all the things that you didn't act on and you didn't improve on, all of the knowledge that you didn't get, all of the times that you decided to veer off left when there was a fork in the road when you're always supposed to go right. So, what book are you writing is the story you telling. Because I promise you, I got to have my book exciting on a daily basis. Because my future self looking at me like, bro, what you doing? You even moving towards a better me, you understand me, or a lesser me? So in my book, I talk about that. In my current book, that's how I talk about building your future self. For everybody who bought one, I'm actually about to put out a new edited version of it as well. And I'll be sending everybody an updated link through the email, inshallah. So write a better book for your life. You know, like I teach people literally how they can write books in like 3 to 4 or 5 weeks. I help you challenge yourself to get a new title in your life where you got a whole new income. You got a whole new piece of conversation you can have. Make a change. Fuck that club. Fuck that friend that's always bullshitting, gossiping. Fuck that gossip. Fuck that Netflix show that you about to binge on. All of those things are attached to your failure energy. That's your failure frequency. Your success frequency got a whole new set of habits. Just wanted to let y'all know that, man. It's today is Tuesday, 2/22/2022. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, add it up. 19 keys, man. I promise you, man, my life is better than every podcast on planet Earth. And I gotta say that. You understand me? Because sometimes, y'all be dieting on the wrong information and content. I put out a lot on YouTube. I put out a lot on the podcast. I put out a lot. Tap into it for a reason. Get your frequencies right. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Peace.